When we come back to season 2, Olivia is, like, extremely frightened, and we're not quite sure if she's going to pull through or not. And I know that Peter is extremely concerned for her, and I think having her in such a vulnerable position really affects him. We end the first episode where Olivia finally meets William Bell, who we've been talking about for the last 22 eps, and logically you'd think that we would come back and find out what else happened in that room, but no. Olivia comes back through, like, with a bang, I'll say, and of course can't remember anything that happened in that meeting. So that's just as frustrating to her and to me, because I don't know what happened in that meeting. The first season was all about sort of discovering and understanding that there was something out there, and I feel like this season is going to be about, preparing for whatever it is that's going to need to be done with whatever it is that's out there. It feels like we're moving into a different kind of... It feels like a different season, in a really good way. I think last year, like Olivia, Peter, and John really were fundamentally, on the back foot, and so everything was very kind of reactionary. You think these cases would come up, and they would have to deal with it very quickly and sort of sort it out, and they would be playing catch up a lot. But this year, I feel that, there's been we've come a long way. A lot of stuff's been sort of discovered, and I think that the team is much more proactive and much more aggressive in finding out, in solving these cases, but also finding out what the link between all these cases is. I loved all the Cortexiphan stuff, but that wasn't really a case. That was sort of... I loved that because it gave me something to play with particularly Walter's character, with John's character, Walter. They're sort of... And I've sort of not really known. I know that she needs him because he's a genius, but then what's the personal attachment? And Walter and Peter have their, history, and Olivia sort of just is on the outskirts. But when the Cortexiphan stuff came in and she realized that Walter did actually treat her when she was all of 3 years old, that was kind of creepy and fun for me. Fringe science is science that's inappropriate, really. It doesn't have to be deadly, it doesn't have to be dangerous, but it's on the fringe of what's being, done openly, I guess. But then it also is... Well, that's fringe science in our world, because obviously everything in our world of fringe, actually does work. But then in the real world, fringe science is what's just sort of just beyond believable. You could almost rationally see how that could work, but cannot? No. Also, what's morally acceptable too, I think, and ethically acceptable. It's not just a case of the week. It's not just investigative. It's not just comedy. It's not just drama. It's not horror. But there's sort of all of those bits put into it, and I think that's there is something there for everyone, and I think that's why I think that's why it has done well, is because it kind of I don't think it alienates anyone.